Hey there, this is the retired fat guy, Paul. I got Olivia Ponciano. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
I got it right. She just told me, but I got short-term memory loss, I guess. But Olivia is very interested in the carnivore diet movie that Carrie Mann with Homestead How is putting together. And some of you may or may not know I'm part of the Heart Health team, but in my research, I came across Olivia, and she did not have a YouTube channel or a video for me to view. So, what better way to practice my skills by getting a hold of Olivia and starting an interview process that Carrie may or may not use in the video movie. So, um, but overall, that's the story that Olivia has that kind of caught my ear and or my eyes. And now this is our first time meeting. We spoke a few minutes ago, and what I want to know, Olivia, is what drew you to carnivore? And I'm gonna sit back and relax and let you tell us what you wrote and why. Why? What's your why?
My reason on why I wanted to start doing carnivore is because my health issues were getting worse. After having my last child, I have three kids, two of them are mine, and a stepdaughter. And after having my last one, they told me that I had heart failure. And I had previously, with my last pregnancy before her, was told that I had genetic kidney disease. And I didn't know anything about heart problems at all because I was adopted at a young age. So I had started doing the keto diet, and it was working for a little bit, and it started to help me losing weight. My skin started to clear and everything. And I just didn't feel like it was enough because my health issues were still kind of like going downhill. And the next thing I know, later in 2022, around in like October of last year, they're like, "You have diabetes." And I couldn't take any of the shots. They put me on Ozempic. Um, they put me on another one that's like Ozempic. And then there's one called Jardiance, I think is what it's called. It's like a pill that you take, and you're supposed to just take it once a month. But I couldn't take it because it was making my kidneys worse. I have a kidney disease where I like grow cysts on my kidneys, and it was making all of that worse. And my creatinine level was at 2.0. And I thought, okay, well, I need to do something different because keto obviously wasn't working. And they're like, well, you need to lose weight. And I'm like, I can't lose weight if you keep putting me on insulin because none of that other stuff was working. So I had to start doing the Omnipod, which is a little device you wear on your arm and it pumps
Omnipod?
insulin. Yeah,
Oh.
it's a insulin pump. It like pumps insulin in your body constantly. And
Oh.
I have to wear this Dexcom, and that it sends readings to my phone to say like my blood sugar levels. It'll tell me
Okay.
if it's high or low, if I need to do anything about that. And
Is it
I just told my
similar to,
doctor,
is that similar to what a lot of people wear that are type 1 diabetic?
yes,
Okay.
yes,
I'm
yeah.
learning all
There's
these
the
terms too.
Dexcom, and then there's also the Libre.
Libre. Okay. I've heard of
Yeah,
Libre. Okay.
my doctor
So,
basically just told me like I need to wear those because I'm considered high risk because I already have heart failure, then I have kidney disease, and then on top of that got diabetes as well.
how long have you had the di diabetes?
The diabetes I've had for the last year and a half. I also had gestational diabetes when I was pregnant with my last one, and I got preeclampsia after both children.
What is preeclampsia?
High blood pressure, had to be getting blood transfusions after giving birth. With my kidney disease, I'm able to get aneurysms, all kinds of stuff that happens with preeclampsia. Your body basically has a hard time fighting after giving birth. And your body basically can just like give up. And that's what happened. Like my heart was like overwhelmed after giving birth, and it just like the muscles in my heart like gave out. Because your body is supposed to be at like 45 to 65% ejection fracture. That's the squeezing of your heart. And
Oh, wow.
whenever your heart pumps, your ejection fracture is how well your heart is pumping. And for my age, it should be anywhere from 54 to 64. And after I had my last child, it was at 10%.
So that's also known as beats per minute, correct?
Yeah,
Okay. Wow.
it's kind of like your respiratory.
Okay. 'Cause I-
But basically, like my heart was about to like give out. I was in the hospital for like 3 months. I almost died.
oh, wow. See, that right there is one big reason I'm sure that turned you on to carnivore.
Yes,
Um, and how long have you been on carnivore?
I started in February of this year.
Uh, February. So other than the, I'm sure you lost weight, just like a lot of people, but other than weight, have you seen the corrections starting or that everybody talks
Not
about or
necessarily on my heart, but I have with my kidney. I don't have the results with me right now, but the last time they did my lab, my creatinine level went down from 2.0 to 1.5. So my creatinine
wow,
level actually went down and got better. My
okay,
cholesterol did go up though, and none of my doctors are on board. They all said, "No, you don't need to do this." And I'm
you don't
like,
need to do carnivore
yeah, they
or
said don't do carnivore. They said you shouldn't be eating protein because you already have kidney disease and you're going to make it worse. And I'm like, how am I making it worse if my creatinine level is better than worse? Because my creatinine level got better and all I'm
so
doing is eating protein.
was that part of your the heck with it? This is everything's going wrong. I know for me that
Yeah,
was how it was. Everything's going wrong.
yeah,
Then you stumbled across the carnivore way of life and you
yes.
said,
I saw one of Ken Berry's videos, and then
uh-huh,
I saw some of Carrie's videos,
awesome.
and then whenever I was hearing Ken Berry talk about how like the keto is kind of like carnivore diet, then it made me more interested. Like, wow, like my doctor was constantly telling me, my diabetic doctor, she was telling me how I need to like lower my carbs. And then I was like, I wonder what happens if I just don't eat any carbs at all, because there's still some carbs in meat. And
Hmm.
then I was like, I need to just try this. I'm at that moment is like, do I want to be alive or do I want to die? Because I already had enough health issues that were practically killing me. My heart, my kidneys, diabetes, all that stuff was already trying to kill me. The food I was eating was trying to kill me. And it's like, I have 3 girls and I homeschool and I have my own farm. We have 150 acres. And I'm just thinking, I can't just constantly be making best friends at the hospital. I need to want to live and I have to feel good and healthy to do that.
So on 150 acres raising 3 kids, um, are you are you married?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you guys do this as a team. How does
Yes.
how do you manage 150 acres and then had the health problems that you had? How did you work through that?
It's more of a willpower, I guess.
Absolutely, I understand that.
It's more
Wow.
of not wanting to do it, but wanted to do it because I also felt with all my health issues that I started getting a lot of anxiety and depression as well. And I felt the more I kept myself busy doing something, the more I wasn't depressed and anxious all the time. And the carnivore diets helped with that a lot too.
What in what way would you say that's helped? Well,
I don't know. I just feel like ever since I've been on the carnivore diet and I've been feeling healthier, that my anxiety and my depression is not as bad as it was before. I still have some of my health issues, but they're more manageable now than they ever were before. I have a walker, I have a cane, I also have a scooter. I don't feel like I'm having to use those as much, having all those medical aids.
so you are farming with medical aids, but you've reduced that because of the carnivore. Huh.
Yes.
So on the diabetes side, are they worried about your lower extremities or
Yes, they
your
don't want me to be doing the carnivore diet. None of my doctors are on board.
so they must really not like the fact that you doing the salt end too?
Yeah. Yeah, I've
What
been
they
using red bin salt too.
which one? I'm sorry.
The red bin salt.
Oh yes, definitely. Um that it's funny that you do this because I had a similar, I mean, I didn't have a near death experience like you did. I kind of did, but I thought I was, but I don't know, maybe I freaked myself out a couple years ago. But
Yeah.
in the process, I think you came to the same conclusion on the salt. But I was watching I still can't find her. I watched a video of a doctor, I think she's out of the UK. Um, she said when somebody comes to her with hypertension, you had a little bit more than hypertension. I had hypertension.
Yeah.
Um, she immediately puts them on salt, like a good grade of salt.
Yeah.
And here I was told, hey, don't don't eat salt, don't eat meat, go plant-based, right? So I think you came to the same conclusion. Well, that ain't working because I knew every one of those foods were going to cause weight gain at the least, right? But
Hmm.
um, I don't know if you had something similar with your doctors, but my doctors, my cardiologist and my regular primary, I guess is what they call themselves, told me, would you, as my primary said this one, would you rather have a little extra weight or die of a stroke or whatever? I was like, wow. But then when I came across, I too did keto like you stumble across these things. And one of the things that you're talking about, as far as meat, it seemed like
Yeah.
anybody that has any kind of issue, especially heart related or people that pick up cancer. I had a couple of friends of mine recently die, and one was
Right.
lifelong, and the other one was I've known him for 20, little over 20 years when he passed. Young guy, 57 years old, just retired, um, whatever. But both of them, the doctors and every cancer patient I've known, were told, "Hey, cut out the carbs, cut out the carbs." But you
Yeah.
kind of had the same thing where they said, "Cut out the carbs," right? Which is how
Yeah.
you lock down onto keto. And then it just naturally clicks like, why not try this? Because your method isn't
Mhm.
working. My case, I told them, I said, look, I'm gonna follow your diet 100%. So I got the measuring cups. I did the DASH
Yeah.
diet. It was the DASH diet. I said, every one of these things they gave me, I should find the list. Every one of the list I knew would make me gain weight because as a professional gainer and loser and then gain it back kind of guy, you know what foods is gonna just rack you. It doesn't matter how much you work out. In your case, you're out there working on a farm. So these I don't know what the deal is, why they insist, but it was literally think it was 60 something days later, I had my follow-up.
Yeah.
And I came in there, I said, I told you. They're like, well, you must be doing it wrong. And so I used to track on my Fitness Pal, another
Yeah.
professional gainer and loser, right? And that's what we do. Well, we want to prove to them, hey, no, I'm following this. So
Hmm.
in my job at the time, I walked anywhere from 5 to 14 miles a day, almost every day. And yet I was as large as a house. With that kind of walking, you think, hey, we should be real thin, right? But
Yeah.
so I'm guessing you had the same thing. But he was stumped when I showed him the tracking. So that yo-yo part, um, he's like stumped. But now he's stumped why I'm losing weight. I just told him I haven't told him yet what I'm doing because I already know they're gonna bark the wrong tune, right? They're gonna get on me about, oh, you shouldn't be doing that. It's gonna give you this, it's gonna give you that. Well, at some point, just like you figured out too, you got to go, well, your way isn't working, so let's try my way.
Yeah.
And
Well, the
and
things that frustrate me the most is they tell me to lose weight and that I need to exercise, but they have me on so much medicine
mhm.
that makes me gain weight and makes it
Yes,
harder to lose the weight. And it's like,
I'm
how am I supposed to lose it even if I'm on carnivore? If you put me on meds that make me gain it, whether I want it or not.
right. And they don't get it. I think I think Dr.
Yeah.
Barry talks about how he used to think his clients weren't paying attention to what he said and till it happened to him. And I really,
Yeah.
really think that's what happens with some doctors. They're fine, their youth metabolisms just takes a lot longer to slow down. And then when it
Yeah.
hits them, they're going, "Well, I'm doing everything I said." Just like that's why I like Dr. Barry is because he
Yeah.
he lived it. You got to live in somebody's shoes to understand what they're really saying, and with everything that you experienced, you know, um, and we both experienced, and what turned our eyes to it, um, it really came down to I want to survive, right? That's what you that's
Yeah.
that's where you're at. So
I think I lost my last straw whenever they put a pacemaker defibrillator in me. I think that's when I lost it. That's when I really decided that I'm going to do carnivore diet. I was already doing keto, but I decided I'm not going to listen to my doctors as much if I have to have a pacemaker defibrillator in me to keep me alive. But I just feel like I'm able to help people a little bit more because a lot of people think, oh, if you did carnivore diet, you're going to get all these health issues and diseases and stuff. And I said, well, I didn't do carnivore diet. I did the natural American diet and I got all these diseases. Now I'm doing the carnivore diet and I'm reversing the diseases I had before taking the carnivore diet in. That way it kind of shows people that carnivore diet doesn't necessarily cause all those other issues. All those other issues came from the diet I was eating from before and possibly most of the medicines I was on as well too.
right when when you started, um, what were some of the things you immediately felt on the carnivore diet? First, and especially since you came from a keto, did you notice any differences?
I felt like I was full longer. I didn't feel like I had to keep snacking so much.
Yeah, I
Um,
I, I agree with that.
my
Um,
face got clearer. I used to have like acne. I've always had problems with acne, but I felt like my face got a lot clearer. I did notice that I was out of a lot of energy, so I started taking the keto chow, I think it is, the electrolytes, and I started using those, and that seemed to help a lot. And then I changed to Element. It's an
oh,
electrolyte without the sugar in it.
yeah, the one.
And the little
everybody's
mini
talking about.
packets. Yeah.
I think I think the potassium in that is a key thing, right?
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
potassium, magnesium, and sodium.
it's funny, yesterday, first time in a very long time that I had twitching going on. And
Yeah.
some of it I thought was just muscle fatigue because like I said, I walked a lot. And when I was working, I probably didn't drink enough water, even though uh, I've always been a gallon a day person.
Yeah.
Gallon and a half when I'm working out, sometimes two in the hot summer. But
Mhm.
the just yesterday, I was literally sitting at my desk working on some stuff, and all of a sudden, my left side started just freaking out. I'm like,
You're
huh.
teaching.
And it, even if I feel it right now, I feel like there was some deadening right here in my cheek.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting after dinner last night. I said, babe, look up muscle twitching and tell me what you read. One thing I haven't done because I haven't had the fruit and I haven't had the this and the that with the extra
Hmm.
potassium. I haven't had the potassium. So what I
Yeah.
was trying to do is I have some electrolytes that I've always used, and then I also have some magnesium I take that helps the tenderness in my head. I get ringing in my head, and
Hmm.
when which the ringing ever since coming on more carnivore based diet, um,
Yeah.
I seem to have it doesn't ring as much like today. Uh, right now, there's no
Yeah.
ring, which is crazy, but the magnesium. Um, I increase that, and then electrolyte. I start the day off with that, even though I have what they call it um I call it morning hypertension. So
Yeah.
I'm not my blood pressure goes up just before I go wake up, and I guess it's a normal thing. Dr. Barry talked about it on a video, and it's like your body gets shot insulin to wake you up, and
Right.
so I call it morning hypertension. They call it some other name. I wrote it down here somewhere. See if I can figure it real quick. Um, shoot, I got it somewhere in my notes, but it's actually in my playlist on my YouTube if you look it up.
Okay.
I think I took some screenshots and put it in, and then there was a video that one of my partners that's doing the heart side she told me about, and so I went looking at it. But electrolytes and magnesium, and but the missing thing is the potassium. So the
Yeah.
element, the element must really have something going on. And then talk about keto chow. How did you feel about that? Because that's another thing I got to bring
I didn't
onto
like the
my
way it smells.
way it smells.
Yeah.
Well, if it
I
smells
could
good,
barely
we're
get
gonna
it
try it.
past my nose, but once I mixed it in with my water, or sometimes I'd put it in my tea, I'd just try to get it down as much as I could.
What is keto chow?
It's electrolytes.
That's just electrolytes, nothing else is in it.
Yeah.
No sugars, no
I don't remember
nothing.
there being sugar in it, but I think there was some potassium and magnesium in it. It's been a while since I took that,
So you're doing
but I don't think
strictly
there's any.
you're doing strictly element then?
Yeah, at this
Okay.
moment, yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
I got
Yeah.
the keto chow last year when I was doing the keto diet. And then
Okay.
whenever I switched over to carnivore, that's when I had heard about Element, and I started that at the beginning of this year. I
Okay.
just like with Element how they have the flavored packets too.
Okay.
It makes
Flavors are
water not
good.
so boring. Yeah.
How is your water intake?
It's doing a lot better. I know I drink about like 2 liters a day. I can't really do more than that because it puts too much strain on my heart and my kidneys.
That's interesting. They always tell us to have a lot of water. That's what they tell me. Have a
Yeah.
lot of water for the heart and push the salt out or whatever they're trying to say. But
Yeah, you can
um,
actually end up drinking too much if you're not careful because then your water goes onto your heart and your lungs.
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Is there
That's another thing I noticed too when I changed to carnivore diet. I had to stop taking my water pill.
oh, really?
I wasn't, yeah, I didn't have like swollen feet anymore, and I wasn't holding on to water anymore. Like I didn't have to take a Lasix to like get rid of the excess water on my body or extra fluids. That's one thing I
That's
did notice that changed.
today's day one off of amlodipine. I
Hmm.
When I went through my issue 3 years ago, they almost killed me, and that was just nuts in itself. But what one of the reasons is they gave me some medication back in 2014, and I
Yeah,
was out literally walking, and I almost passed out with. I escort a lot of level. I escorted a lot of level 4 inmates. So here I am, almost going down. The inmate's picking me up. He's like, "You all
yeah,
right?" And I'm like, "No." But so they took me off of amlodipine,
hmm,
and and nothing. They didn't give me a diuretic. They didn't give me nothing. So apparently, along the way, there was other medications that I was on, but they never took it off my chart. So it
um,
wasn't the emergency room's doctor's fault. She asked me in my delirious state, "Hey, have you taken your medication today?" Yes. 'Cause at the time I took vitamins. I still take vitamins. Um, and so she went on to the next protocol. She's like, "Well, when did you take them?" "Oh, I took them this morning." And so she just upped all my doses. And then she says, "You got to take all
um,
these." So to get me back down to normal, she gave me one amlodipine. Well, that happened, and immediately went down within half hour or whatever it was. They signed me out. 5 days later, I'm in there again. This time
yeah,
they give me this other medication. It said if I get 180 over 90 or something like that, every 6 hours, take it as needed. Well,
yeah,
I don't know if you experience this, but when they want you to take your blood pressure all the time at home, they just they don't give you a machine,
yeah.
one
You
that
have to
fits you.
go and buy it.
Right. So I went and bought one. Well, every 6 hours, I was over 180, over like 100 all the time.
Yeah,
And then, um, I don't know, it's probably 2 or 3 nights of every 6 hours I was taking this other thing. It would just make the ringing in my head go nuts. Everything was just nuts. I was sitting on the couch out of it at 3 o'clock in the morning. And my
hmm,
dog, who never, we have 10 minutes, it says,
yeah,
um, my dog, anyway, she jumped up my lap and um, that was it. I got done. I got off the meds, called the doc, and they told me that, and we started from scratch. I did go up in lisinopril, and I went up in amlodipine. I switched my diuretic because some of the diuretics cause gout. I never had gout until
yes.
some
I've
of this
got
stuff.
gout too.
You got gout.
Yeah,
So, um, I'm almost completely off allopurinol. I had a little gout attack this week, and it's the first time in probably 8 weeks that it happened. And gout kind of one of those things that just comes and goes anyway.
Yeah.
But less is best. That's what I always say. So as soon as I can get off of it, I do. But Olivia, and, um, tell us why somebody should choose you to be on the movie. Why Carrie should choose you. Why the team should go, yeah, let's get Olivia on the show.
I feel like I have a lot to offer, and I feel like my story is a little bit different than most, with me having so many health issues and just knowing that I don't have much support from my doctors at all because none of my doctors are on board. And I'm just choosing to pick carnivore diet because I can see that it's helping and I feel like I can make a difference. And that's really what I want to do is make a difference on others and help others not feel so scared by seeing that. I mean, if you and me can do it, others can do it too. I mean,
Absolutely.
when I first started carnivore diet, I was scared. I thought I'm already almost dead, but this could make everything else worse, you know. And I
Sure.
think that's the reason why a lot of people don't try carnivore diet. They just don't think it's will work. Not that many people have done it. It hasn't been out for very long. You know, everybody's heard of keto, but not that many people have heard about carnivore diet or heard enough stories of people's lives with it. And I just want to be able to make a difference and help others like me and hopefully change people's lives before they get to my extent. You know, I'd rather somebody
Sure.
try carnivore diet before they get heart failure, kidney disease, and diabetes. I mean, you
Exactly.
can change your life before it gets that bad.
Exactly. Uh, that's very good. And wanting to help other people is definitely what Carrie's about. And everybody that he's brought on, um, everybody like you just wants to get the message out.
Yeah,
Just so you know, nobody's getting paid to do this, not
it
even
doesn't
Carrie.
bother me. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
So I know, and I'm just saying, as a whole, we're trying to get the message out. Um,
Yeah.
I say
Even if
that,
I can
so
just make videos to spread the word to get donations too,
exactly.
to help make the
So
video.
one person at a time, and
Yeah,
the ones that are really wanting to listen are going to listen, and the ones that don't, well, they'll eventually listen because they're going to hear the doctors or they're going to hear somebody talk
yeah,
about carnivore, right?
right.
So, um, I'd like to thank you for your time and getting to know you a little bit. And I will
Thank
definitely,
you. Thank
I'm going
you.
to put this on my channel. You said you put
Okay.
together a channel too?
Yes.
Do you have a name for it?
I just put Carnivore Queen 31.
Carnivore Queen 31. There you guys
Yeah.
got it. So I'll send you the link once I figure out how Zoom does this. And then
Okay.
that way you have it for your channel. I'll post it on mine and also send it to Carrie. So there's multiple sources and maybe we can reach that one person that we were just talking about. That one that
Okay.
just needs to hear it, right? So,
Right.
well, thank you for your time and you have a wonderful, no, what is this, October 1st? And
Yeah.
go do something fun. Okay.
You too. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Bye bye now.
Bye.